Normal spending leaks are why budgets fail, not big purchases. Today, 33 dumb budgeting mistakes people keep making. Like free trials that quietly renew, and I'll save what's left lies. Stay for number 33, because it's the sneakiest one by far. Alright, mistake number 1 starts the moment your paycheck hits. Paying yourself last every month. By the final week, her checking account is always empty. In Phoenix, Maya watches rent and utilities drain payday. She pays everyone first, then hopes savings magically appears. Autopay hits, Netflix, car insurance, and a student loan. By Friday night, friends text tacos, and she says yes. Sunday comes and her bank app flashes low balance warnings. Next month, she swears she'll save after everything else. But every month, the leftover is crumbs, not a plan. One automatic transfer on payday would change the whole plot. 2. Thinking, I'll remember instead of tracking expenses. His budget dies quietly under a mountain of tiny purchases. In Chicago, Jordan leaves receipts in coat pockets for weeks. He swears he remembers every coffee, rideshare, and snack. Then his bank statement shows 30 charges labeled miscellaneous somehow. A convenience store run turns into 2 drinks and gum. An App Store game grabs $5 while he's half asleep. At month's end, he guesses, and the numbers fight back. He finally tags spending in his bank app daily. Nothing changed except visibility, and suddenly the leaks looked obvious. 3. Not knowing your real monthly fixed costs. She thought she had wiggle room, but bills owned her. In Seattle, Priya lists rent, Wi-Fi, and transit passes. She forgets insurance premiums, gym dues, and the phone payment. When auto pay days stack up, her calendar looks like Tetris. One Tuesday, her account drops twice before lunch even starts. She realizes fixed costs are basically subscriptions to being alive. A simple list shows about 3 paychecks already pre-spent. Only then does she see what's left for groceries. Once the base is clear, planning stops feeling like guessing. 4. Using your credit card as emergency savings. The emergency fund charged interest, and it kept growing. In Atlanta, Marcus swipes a Visa when the tire blows. He tells himself it's fine, because credit equals safety. 2 weeks later, the dentist wants payment before fixing pain. The balance jumps again, and the minimum feels like a joke. Then interest posts, quietly, like a mosquito that never leaves. He starts paying for yesterday's emergencies with tomorrow's paycheck. A real cash buffer would have stopped the spiral early. Credit is a tool, not a parachute stitched from debt. 5. Budgeting with gross income, not take-home pay. Her spreadsheet said she was rich, but her wallet disagreed. In New Jersey, Anna budgets from salary, not her paycheck. Federal taxes, state taxes, and FICA quietly shave the numbers. Health insurance and a 401k contribution disappear before she sees them. She plans a weekend trip, then wonders why gas feels painful. On payday, the net deposit lands smaller than her plan. She keeps blaming prices, while math was the real villain. Once she budgets from take-home, the month finally matches reality. Gross income is a headline. Net pay is the story. 6. Setting a budget without a single goal. He followed a budget template, yet nothing ever improved. In Los Angeles, Sam opens a spreadsheet and feels responsible. He fills categories, but never picks a target worth chasing. So every decision becomes a debate with yesterday's self. He saves a little, then blows it on random upgrades. Without a goal, the budget turns into paperwork, not momentum. A friend asks why he's saving, and Sam freezes. Suddenly, he picks a clear win: debt payoff by summer. Now, each dollar has a job, like players on a team. 7. Forgetting small subscriptions multiply fast. Her paycheck vanished in slow motion, one tiny renewal at a time. In Boston, Lauren checks her Apple subscriptions and gets dizzy. There's music, cloud storage, fitness, and 3 streaming services. Half were started on free trials during board weekends. 1 renews yearly, so it hides until it bites. Another charges through Google Play, which she never checks. She spots 2 similar apps doing the same job. Canceling them feels like finding coins in an old couch. Subscriptions don't look dangerous. That's exactly why they win. 8. Calling every extra dollar fun money. Every raise became a party, and her savings stayed flat. In Denver, Erica sees a bigger deposit and celebrates immediately. She upgrades headphones, orders delivery, and tips like a superstar. The next week, she books flights because prices look urgent. She tells friends it's just extra, not part of life. Then the car needs a battery, and the credit card returns. The twist is simple. Extra money is still money. When she auto-saves the raise portion, the fund stays honest. Otherwise, the raise just funds better versions of old habits. 9. Relying on one average month. One average budget collapsed completely during the first weird month. In Florida, Miguel drives rideshare, and income swings wildly. Spring break pays great, then rainy weeks turn streets empty. He builds a plan for March, thinking that's normal. By May, his rent due date arrives, but tips don't. He starts borrowing from next month, like time travel, with fees. A single bad week forces him to skip insurance payments. He switches to a low-month baseline, then adds bonuses. Average is a trap when life refuses to be average. 10. Not separating needs from wants. She ran out of money buying needs that were wants. In Austin, Rachel calls a bigger SUV a safety need. She also calls premium coffee a work essential, somehow. Her actual needs are boring: rent, groceries, and medication. Marketing labels wants as necessities, like a costume for spending. She buys the SUV, then gas and insurance bite monthly. A friend asks, "Could you survive without it for 1 week?" That question flips everything, and she redraws her categories. Needs keep you standing. Wants should never push you over. 11. Counting overtime or bonuses as guaranteed. When overtime vanished, his budget had no floor at all. In Detroit, Chris counts warehouse overtime like it's guaranteed. Last winter, managers begged for extra shifts, so he said yes. He signs a new lease, assuming the pace will continue. Then orders slow, the schedule shrinks, and paychecks shrink too. His fixed costs stay loud, even when income goes quiet. He tries gig work at night, and sleep becomes the price. A smarter baseline would have treated overtime like a surprise. Bonuses are fireworks, not campfires you can cook on. 12. Using one bank account for everything. His money felt messy because it literally lived in one pile. In San Diego, Tyler's checking handles bills, snacks, and rent. He pays friends on Venmo, then forgets what's left. A payday deposit arrives, and he feels instantly safe. 2 days later, autopay yanks rent, and panic returns. He can't tell spending from saving, like mixing paint colors. He opens a second account labeled Bills and transfers weekly. Suddenly, the Bills account looks boring, which is perfect. One pile invites chaos. Simple buckets invite calm always. 13. Not building a starter emergency fund. A small crisis became a big disaster because cash was missing. In Nashville, Jenna's alternator dies on a rainy commute. The mechanic wants payment today, not after her next payday. She skips groceries to cover it, then the fridge breaks. Now she's juggling 2 emergencies, like plates at a circus. She considers a payday loan, and the interest looks cartoonish. A starter fund could be tiny, but it must exist. Even $500 turns chaos into an annoying speed bump. Without it, every broken thing feels like the end. 14. Leaving high-interest debt outside the budget. The interest kept eating his future because he pretended it wasn't there. In Ohio, Ben uses a store card for electronics upgrades. The statement says 29% APR, but he ignores it. He budgets groceries carefully, while the card balance quietly grows. 1 month, the minimum jumps, and the due date arrives fast. He pays it late, and a penalty fee joins the party. Suddenly, he's paying interest on interest, like debt nesting dolls. When he adds that card to the budget, the fog clears. High-interest debt hates attention, which is why you stare at it. 15. Paying minimums and calling it a plan. His payoff date drifted decades away, and he didn't notice. In Miami, Omar pays minimums on 3 cards every month. He feels responsible because the apps say he's on track. Then he taps the payoff calculator, and his stomach drops. The timeline stretches past his kid's graduation, which feels unreal. Interest is the villain wearing a friendly minimum payment mask. He tries one extra payment, and the balance finally moves. Next month, he snowballs the smallest card, like rolling momentum. Minimums keep the lights on. They don't build an exit. 16. Treating tax refunds like free money. Her refund arrived, then disappeared, and nothing actually changed. In March, Sophia in Arizona files early and feels lucky. The IRS sends a refund, and she calls it a bonus. She buys a new TV, then upgrades the soundbar too. By summer, the old credit card balance is still sitting there. A refund isn't free, it's overpaid taxes coming home. She changes withholding at work, and future paychecks rise slightly. That extra cash funds debt payments monthly, not once. The twist is boring, steady beats flashy every time. 17. Assuming no car payment means cheap car. The paid-off car started charging her monthly in repairs. In New England winters, Mark keeps his old BMW on faith. No car payment feels amazing, so he ignores small noises. Then a dashboard light appears, and the shop lists problems. A coolant leak becomes overheating, and the tow truck arrives. Parts are pricey because German engineering doesn't do bargains. He's suddenly paying installments anyway, just to the mechanic. A no-payment car still needs a monthly repair budget. Otherwise, the car payment returns again wearing grease-stained coveralls. 18. Not budgeting for car repairs and maintenance. A $60 oil change turned into a $600 surprise. In Minneapolis, Leah skips maintenance because life feels busy. The check engine light glows, and she tapes over it. One morning, the car shudders on I-94 and stalls. A tow to the shop costs money before repairs even start. The mechanic shows shredded belts, worn brakes, and dirty fluids. She learned small upkeep is like brushing teeth for cars. Now she sets a monthly car fund, even when nothing breaks. Maintenance feels optional until the road forces a hard vote. 19. Not budgeting for medical and dental costs. The bill arrived weeks later, and it wasn't small. In 2023, Evan in California visits urgent care for stitches. He pays a copay, thinking the story is over. Then separate invoices show up: facility fee, doctor fee, labs. His insurance deductible resets, so he owes more than expected. Dental is worse. A cracked molar becomes a crown appointment. He learns covered doesn't mean free. It means complicated math. He starts a health sinking fund, like a spare tire. Because medical surprises don't care how organized your budget looks. 20. Letting lifestyle creep eat every raise. Her lifestyle upgraded faster than her income, and stress followed. In San Francisco, Claire gets a raise and moves apartments. The new place has a gym, a view, and higher rent. She adds meal kits, nicer skincare, and a new phone plan. Each upgrade feels small, but together they form a cage. 6 months later, she wonders why saving feels impossible again. The twist is timing. Expenses rise quietly, paycheck grows loudly. She freezes lifestyle at the old level and banks the difference. Otherwise, every raise just buys a fancier version of broke. 21. Eating out just a little without a limit. His budget looked fine until food deliveries told the truth. In Manhattan, Dave grabs lunch out sometimes between meetings. Sometimes becomes daily because the deli is right downstairs. At night, DoorDash wins again, especially after a long commute. He never sets a limit, so every craving gets approved. One Sunday, he totals receipts, and the number shocks him. It's not the steak, it's the app's fees and tips. He caps eating out weekly, and cooking becomes the default. A little without limits becomes a lot with interest. 22. Shopping sales and calling it saving. Her savings receipts proved she spent more, not less. In November, Brittany in Ohio hunts Black Friday deals online. A banner screams 50% off, and she clicks fast. She adds a blender, shoes, and extra gadgets for later. Later never comes, but the credit card bill arrives perfectly on time. Sales help only when you already planned the purchase. She starts a 24-hour pause, and half the cart disappears. Discounts feel like wins, but they're often just bait. 23. Buying in bulk without checking waste. The bargain size became a trash can trophy fast. In suburban Dallas, Nate buys Costco lettuce, berries, and bread. He imagines healthy breakfasts, like a new life starts Monday. Monday comes, and meetings happen, so the fridge becomes storage. By Friday, the berries fuzz, and the lettuce turns swampy. He throws it out, feeling guilty and somehow still hungry. Bulk only works when you'll actually eat it in time. Now he bulk buys staples and buys produce in smaller batches. Otherwise, the deal is just prepaying for future garbage. 24. Ignoring price per unit at the store. She paid more for less because the label tricked her. At a Target in Atlanta, Tasha grabs the family-size cereal. It looks cheaper until she checks ounces on the bottom. The smaller box has a lower price per ounce, quietly. Brands know our brains love big labels and bright stickers. She repeats the test with paper towels and gets annoyed. The math is boring, but it saves real money weekly. Now she shops by unit price, not shelf drama. The shelf lies politely. The unit price tells the truth. 25. Not planning groceries before shopping. His kitchen filled up, yet dinner still became takeout. In Charlotte, Andre shops hungry on Friday after work. He grabs random ingredients, imagining recipes he'll never cook. At home, nothing matches, like puzzle pieces from different boxes. So he orders pizza, and the groceries slowly expire. The twist is planning isn't fancy, it's just deciding ahead. He writes 5 dinners, then buys only what supports them. He even checks the fridge first, which feels oddly powerful. Now the cart serves dinner, instead of becoming pantry clutter. 26. Not budgeting for gifts and holidays. December hit hard, and her budget caught fire overnight. In early winter, Melissa in Michigan starts gift shopping late. Shipping costs jump, and every package needs rush delivery. Then office parties appear, plus travel, plus matching sweaters. She swears it's once a year, so it doesn't count. But next year arrives, and the same season returns again. She starts a holiday fund in January, like training early. By November, gifts feel calm because money was already waiting. Holidays aren't surprises. They're traditions with price tags attached. 27. Skipping sinking funds for big purchases. The laptop died, and his plan was basically panic. In 2024, Daniel in Portland spills coffee on his MacBook. He needs it for work Monday, so he rushes. At the Apple Store, the replacement price lands like a punch. He puts it on a card, promising himself it's temporary. Temporary becomes months because interest doesn't take weekends off. A sinking fund is just saving for predictable suddenly moments. He starts one for tech, one for travel, one for home. Now surprises still happen, but they don't own him. 28. Not negotiating bills even once a year. He paid the loyalty tax for years, and nobody warned him. In Tampa, Jason keeps the same internet plan since college. The price creeps up while new customers get shiny promos. He notices only when autopay hits, and his jaw drops. He calls the provider, expecting a fight, but gets options. A retention agent offers a discount, like it was always possible. He repeats the trick with car insurance, and the premium falls. The twist is, you don't get deals by being quiet. Once a year, negotiation turns bills from fixed to flexible. 29. Forgetting one-time fees and renewal traps. A free trial became a paid year, and she missed it. In 2022, Kayla in Colorado signs up for a fitness app. It promises a week free, then auto-renews annually afterward. She cancels in her head, but not in the settings. Months later, a charge hits, and customer support says sorry. Gym contracts do it too, with initiation fees and notice windows. Renewal traps work because they hide behind busy life. She now sets calendar reminders and uses virtual cards for trials. The fine print isn't evil, it's just quietly expensive. 30. Budgeting without a buffer for mistakes. One tiny mistake triggered overdrafts, like dominoes on payday. In Baltimore, Kim runs a $0 budget with no cushion. A utility bill posts a day early, and her account dips. The bank charges an overdraft fee, then another transaction hits. Now she's paying penalties for being off by 24 hours. She transfers money from savings, but she doesn't have savings. A buffer is just breathing room, not laziness or waste. She keeps $100 untouched, and the chain stops. Perfect budgets break. Flexible budgets survive the real world. 31. Overcomplicating your budget until you quit. His budgeting system collapsed under its own genius quickly. In 2021, Ethan builds 50 categories in a color-coded app. He tracks every cent, including parking meters and vending machines. It feels powerful for a week, then life gets loud. He misses 2 days, and the backlog becomes a monster. Soon he avoids opening the app because it feels like homework. A simple 3-bucket plan would have worked the whole time. He switches to needs, wants, and savings, and breathes again. Complicated feels smart, but simple gets done on Tuesdays. 32. Using cashback rewards as an excuse to spend. He chased 5% cash back and lost 50% control. In 2019, Alex signs up for a rewards card, excited. He buys extra groceries to earn points he didn't need. He upgrades flights because miles feel like free travel. Then the statement arrives, and the interest rate laughs silently. Cashback is real, but only on spending you do anyway. He calculates his rewards, and they're smaller than one impulse buy. Now he uses rewards like seasoning, not the whole meal. If points change your cart, the points are running you. 33. Counting split bills as not my problem. The roommate drama turned into late fees because nobody owned it. In Boston, 3 friends split utilities using Venmo every month. One person pays the bill, and waits for everyone to send. Someone forgets, someone disputes, and the due date doesn't care. The power company adds a late charge, and tempers spike. They argue about fairness, while the account balance quietly grows. The fix is boring: autopay, shared reminders, and clear deadlines. Once everyone pays first, hangouts feel fun again, actually. Split bills are shared responsibility, not a magic disappearance trick. Not checking bank statements for errors. He lost money twice, once to fraud, then to time. In 2020, a charge appears on Amir's card in Nevada. He lives in Virginia, so the distance should scream alarm. But he doesn't check statements, and the charge becomes permanent. Weeks later, more small charges follow, like test punches. When he finally calls the bank, the dispute window has closed. He feels foolish, but the scammers relied on that exact delay. Now he skims transactions weekly, like checking mirrors while driving. Errors happen, ignoring them is what turns them expensive. Not reviewing the budget weekly. The month didn't go off track, it slowly drifted there. In Kansas City, Lily sets a budget on January 1st. By January 10th, spending changes, but the plan stays frozen. A birthday dinner pops up, then a school fundraiser, then gas. Without weekly check-ins, she notices only when the balance hurts. It's like ignoring a slow leak until the tire flattens. She starts Sunday reviews, 10 minutes, with coffee and a pen. Small course corrections keep the month from becoming a rescue mission. A budget isn't set and forget, it's steering, not parking daily. Saving whatever is left instead of auto-saving. He saved nothing, because nothing was ever left anywhere. In 2022, Carlos promises he'll save whatever remains each month. Then rent, food, and rides soak up the whole paycheck. A birthday gift appears, then a parking ticket, then laundry. By day 28, leftovers are imaginary, like unicorns in spreadsheets. He finally flips it. Savings leaves first, spending fights for scraps. An automatic transfer hits on payday before he can touch it. The month feels tighter, but his savings grows quietly anyway. Leftovers don't build wealth. Systems do, even boring ones. Keeping expensive insurance deductibles unfunded. The insurance card didn't save him. The deductible still demanded cash. In rural Pennsylvania, Sarah hits a deer and calls her insurer. Coverage is active, but the deductible is $1,000. She thought insurance meant zero, like a magic shield. The body shop won't start repairs until she pays her part. She scrambles, borrowing from family, and the stress is loud. Deductibles are planned emergencies, so they deserve their own fund. She sets aside a little monthly, and future accidents feel smaller. Insurance covers the big punch. You cover the first hit. Waiting for motivation instead of automating money. His plan never started because he waited to feel ready. Every January in the US, gyms fill, then empty again. In 2025, Trevor decides budgeting will begin after motivation arrives. He downloads 3 apps, watches videos, and buys a fancy notebook. Then he feels tired, and the notebook sits untouched. Automation doesn't need mood, it needs one click and a date. He sets automatic bill pay, then automatic saving, then automatic investing. 2 months later, his accounts look better, even without willpower. Motivation is weather, automation is climate, and climate wins.